Welcome in, and thanks so much for being with us on this special edition of In Focus from the Republican National Convention. I'm Pete Servakis in our studios in Milwaukee, just steps away from Fiserv Forum, which hosted this year's RNC. Inside the arena, the party made it official. Donald Trump, now the Republican nominee for president for the third time.
With faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
Delegates at the convention also solidified the second half of the ticket, the vice presidential nominee, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance.
I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
The Republican National Convention here in Wisconsin rallied Republican voters. Party leaders now optimistic they can carry that momentum forward all the way until November. One of those leaders, Governor Greg Abbott of the great state of Texas. So, Governor, your RNC speech focused heavily on the border. 11 million illegal migrants was the number you threw out there. What could either President Biden do right now or future President Trump do on day one that would immediately give you some help?
Well, actually, it's very easy because as we're talking right now, there are 3 laws on the books already in the United States that Biden is refusing to enforce. One is a law that requires the president to deny illegal entry. Another is a law that requires the president to detain anybody who does enter illegally. A third is a law that requires the president to build border barriers. Texas is doing all 3 of those things. Biden is doing none of those things. We've proven that it works because when we did those 3 things, illegal immigration into the state of Texas has gone down 74%, while it has gone up in New Mexico, Arizona, and California. Those policies work. What I know from talking to President Trump is he will do that and a whole lot more. And so he's already been there before. He saw what he was able to do. He now knows his capabilities even more. You're going to expect an even more robust border security plan under the new elected President Trump.
You also specifically called out sanctuary cities. You said if they're not going to come see the border, I'm going to send the border to them. What do you say to folks who might be Republicans that live in states with sanctuary cities that say, hey, I voted for Trump in 2020. Why should I have these people coming into my state now?
So I have visited New York on multiple times in the past year. I've visited California multiple times in the past year. The Republicans in those states, they cheer that because it exposes what they have long known. And that is the hypocrisy of their Democrat leaders saying, oh, we believe in sanctuary cities, but then when they have to face like 10 migrants, they can't deal with it. And it shows that they're all talk in virtual signaling, but they don't have the capability of living up to the false standards they set.
When you hear mayors in some of these cities say we're just not going to follow immigration law, do you think that should give you the automatic right to say Texas will just do whatever we want at our border?
And that's basically what we're doing. What Texas has done things that the Biden administration says is only the federal authority. And because they are not doing their federal job, Texas is stepping up and we are denying illegal entry. We are detaining people who do cross illegally, and we are building border barriers. We as a state are the ones that are actually applying the federal law.
Let's switch to politics for a moment. Obviously, the theme of this convention has largely been let's compare 4 years under President Trump, 4 years under President Biden. If Biden drops out of the race, does that argument go away and now are Republicans at a disadvantage that you made your case before that happened?
Not at all, because if you look at the Biden-Harris policies or the Democrat parties across the board, you look at what Schumer has enacted, look at what the Democrats in the House stand for. The exact same policies that Joe Biden is pushing down the throats of our fellow Americans. They all stand for open border policies, and they haven't retracted from that at all. And so one thing that Americans know, regardless of which Democrat they put up to run for president, they stand for the exact same open border policies, the big spending policies that have led to inflation. If Democrats are going to be in charge of the White House, you as a fellow American, you should expect you're going to be paying more at the price of the pump, more for groceries, more for rent. Your inflation is not going down because they're taking your tax dollars and giving it away to some people who have not been able to repay their student loans. What about all the truck drivers who didn't have a student loan? They got to pay bills too. They're not getting any money, but they are having to pay more for the gas they pay for.
Do you think other states that are not growing as fast as Texas can pull off what you've done? I mean, you mentioned people want more money in their pockets. No state income tax in Texas. How do you pull that off?
So any state can do what Texas has done. To provide the setting, we have the largest budget surplus of any state. We are returning tax money to the taxpayers. We have led the country in economic development at 9 years in a row, every year that I've been governor. We do it because we have no income tax. We have a very reasonable, modest regulatory environment. And Texas, as a state, truly partners with the businesses that come to our state. Every state can replicate exactly what we did, but especially the Democrat states, they refuse to do so.
You mentioned business. Elon Musk, obviously with already a large presence down there, now says he's moving SpaceX. My friends that live in Texas, one of the things that they do mention as a concern with all the growth is the power grid. How well set up are you to sustain the rate of growth that you've had?
I've signed more than 15 laws that strengthen the power grid. Texas now produces more power than California and New York combined. And we're on a track where between now and 2030, we'll be adding 50% more power to our power grid. No state anywhere, hardly any country anywhere, will be able to produce as much power as the state of Texas will.
Governor, if Trump-Vance, the ticket wins in November, would you consider a cabinet post?
So listen, I think the most important political job in America is President of the United States. I think the second most important political job in America is Governor of Texas. Because if we lose Texas, we lose America. And so I'm going to continue to be governor. I'm running for re-election in 2026 to keep Texas, Texas.
Are you confident with all the growth that Texas can stay red? You got a lot of people from a lot of different states moving to your state right now.
So, and that's why I want to remain governor, to make sure that we keep Texas not only governmentally, but just through our ethos. We remain a state that will remain a red state. And that's my job as the leader of the state of Texas, to make sure we remain red and we keep Texas playing its role pivotally in the future of the United States of America.
A sincere thanks to Governor Abbott for sitting down with us while he was here in Wisconsin. Up next, we had to get some Ohio flavor into this show. We're going to chat with one of the party's leaders in the Buckeye State. But first, let's take a look at a short highlight from the RNC.
Let's make the 45th President of the United States the 47th President of the United States. Let's elect Republicans up and down the ballot, and let's heed the call of our party's nominee to fight for these United States. Thank you.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.